12 whole years ago in 2014, the Houston Texans decided to make Jadeveon Clowney the number one overall pick in the NFL draft, drafting him out of South Carolina. He became a three-time Pro Bowler, a wrecking ball on the edge, and then in 2019, the Houston Texans decided to trade him over to the Seattle Seahawks, I believe. 6 teams later now, and 8 years later, he's back in Houston. It's on a one-year deal worth up to $8 million, but the 33-year-old Jadeveon Clowney is home. And the already terrifying Texans defense just got scarier. Today's video, we're breaking down exactly how Jadeveon Clowney will impact the Houston Texans in 2026, why this signing matters, what his role looks like, and how he could be the final piece on a Super Bowl contender. So let's get into it. Clowney actually never left Houston. He's lived here for 12 years after bouncing from Seattle to Tennessee to Cleveland to Baltimore to Carolina, and finally the Dallas Cowboys last season. The call from the Texans felt right in his opinion. He told reporters it wasn't about the money. Other teams offered more cash and guaranteed a starting job, but Clowney said no. He, quote, said, "It was a family decision, chasing my legacy and chasing a Super Bowl. I've got a lot of game left and want to contribute." He even reached out to head coach DeMeco Ryans himself. A full circle moment, in my opinion. Last year in Dallas, after signing mid-September, Clowney played just 13 games and still led the Cowboys with 8.5 sacks, 12 tackles for loss, and a blistering 19.1% pressure rate, fourth best in the NFL among players with at least 200 pass rush snaps. At 33, the juice is safe to say just still there. So how exactly will Clowney be used? Let's go to the smartest take I've seen on this, and that's from Jacob Barzilla, who I recommend you all follow on X, and he put it perfectly in this tweet. A little note on Jadeveon Clowney's potential role in Houston next year. Derek Barnett played 336 snaps in 2025. 310 of those came on either first or second down, which is around 92%. Clowney could be used on more third down as a pass rusher, but his role is likely to be similar as an early down run defending edge who can give Anderson or Hunter breaks. And that's the blueprint for Jadeveon Clowney, in my opinion. Derek Barnett was the reliable early down guy last year, almost exclusively first and second down snaps. Clowney steps into that same early down run stopping role with the twist. Because of that elite pass rush ability, the coaching staff can lean on him more on third downs as well, maybe on the interior as a rushing D tackle. Will Anderson Jr. and Danielle Hunter are two of the best edge rushers in football. We know that already, but they can't play every single snap. Clowney gives them a rest without the defense kind of losing that step. Early downs, set the edge, stuff the run, which Jadeveon Clowney excels at. Third downs, pin the ears back and hunt the quarterback. He is the perfect rotational piece for this defense. So let's talk run defense first, because this is where Clowney has always been elite. Even when the sack numbers weren't eye-popping, especially in Houston, he was elite in the run defense, but the pass rush numbers weren't all there. In 2025 with the Cowboys, Clowney made the tackle on 21.9% of his run snaps, the highest rate among non-off-ball linebackers in the entire NFL. He has strong hands, a violent punch, and that same closing speed that we saw at South Carolina. The Texans already ranked among the league's best in the run, or against the run last year, worst in the run in terms of the offensive side of the ball, but adding Clowney as the primary early down edge opposite of Anderson or Hunter means opposing offenses now have to face 3 high-level run defenders rotating. If you think about it, Anderson sits the edge on one side, Clowney on the other, and running backs get nowhere, offensive tackles get exhausted, and then you can bring in a Danielle Hunter, or you have a Dominic Robinson and Clowney, and then you're able to bring in an Anderson and a Hunter. DeMeco Ryans' defense, we know, thrives on physicality up front. We like to swarm, and Clowney is pure physicality. Expect the Texans' already stingy yards per carry numbers to drop even further this next season, which I think was at 3.2 or something incredibly low like that. But now it's time for the fun part, and that is Jadeveon Clowney's pass rush alongside the other pass rushers the Texans have. Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter combined for 27 sacks last season. Anderson just signed a record extension, and Hunter is locked through 2027 as he also signed a contract extension last offseason. They are undoubtedly the best pass rushing duo in the league. But depth was a quiet concern. Derek Barnett left, DeMeco Ryans also left, and the next men up were unproven in Dominic Robinson and Dylan Horton, and Clowney kind of fixes that problem overnight. His 2025 pressure rate, as previously mentioned, of 19.1%, ranked 4th in the NFL. He's still winning with that speed to power and still getting home to the quarterback with those 8.5 sacks that he had last year. Imagine on third and long packages, Anderson, Hunter, and Clowney all on the field together, or rotating so 2 of them are always fresh. You could have Jadeveon Clowney as a 3-tech on the interior along Rankins, and then you can have Anderson and Hunter on the edges, or you could just have Anderson and Hunter out there allowing Clowney to kind of get a breather. Opposing offensive coordinators, safe to say they probably already had nightmares about Houston's front four, but those nightmares just kind of got a third star with Jadeveon Clowney. Clowney also brings leadership. He's spoken openly about mentoring the young guys and teaching what it takes to win a Super Bowl. In a locker room that already has DeMeco Ryans culture, that veteran presence is gold. He said multiple times in press conferences as well that he felt he was immature in his first stint as Houston, so he wants to bring that maturity this time, and kind of rewrite those wrongs and hopefully bring the Texans to a place they've never been before, which is the AFC Championship and potentially the Super Bowl. So if you put it all together, the impact of Jadeveon Clowney is massive. This is no longer just an elite defense. This is a undoubtable top unit in the NFL that just added proven production, someone with run stopping ability and third down juice without sacrificing a single snap from its two biggest stars, in Will Anderson Jr. and Danielle Hunter. And it's safe to say, in my opinion, I already tweeted this out, so go follow me, Texans_takeover, if you want to go see instant reactions and stuff. But it's safe to say the Texans are already Super Bowl contenders, but adding Clowney on a team-friendly deal and a role that maximizes his strength pushes them even closer, in my opinion. I think this allows Will and Danielle to get even more breaks. I think it gives a break to Stingley, Lassiter, Petrie, Bullock. I'm missing someone. Blankenship, all those guys in the back end that, we'll have to cover as long on early downs because there is going to be a suitable pass rush on those early downs with adding Jadeveon Clowney. And Clowney said it best in his opinion. He just said, I know this team is good enough to go, and he feels he can help. For a franchise that drafted him number one 12 years ago, this kind of feels like unfinished business for Jadeveon Clowney, excuse me. For a defense that ranked first or second in almost every major category last year, in my opinion, adding Jadeveon Clowney is just that cherry on top. So yeah, it might seem like Jadeveon Clowney's return is nostalgia, but in my opinion, it isn't. It's just smart roster construction, which we know Nick Caserio is great at. An early down run defender, a third down pass rusher, a mentor, provides depth, provides a big impact. The Texans just got better, and the rest of the AFC probably just got a lot more nervous considering that Will Anderson Jr. and Danielle Hunter are going to be fresher throughout the course of the season. But now it's time for you to give me an answer. What do you think Jadeveon Clowney's sack total will be this year? Drop it in the comments, and please be sure to like, subscribe. If you're hyped for this reunion, if you're hyped that I'm back home, I was moving myself into college, which is why I was gone. But yeah, please subscribe so you don't miss any Texans breakdowns. You don't miss any Texans content. We're getting close to the preseason, so it's going to be a fun time, and I hope y'all are in for this ride because I think it's going to be a great season. And we'll see what the Houston Texans are able to deliver. So, yeah, thank y'all so much for watching. As always, it's always been a pleasure to make some videos for y'all. But if you did enjoy, please be sure to like, subscribe. And as always, it's Texans Takeover, and I'm out. Peace.